Hi there, now we're going to do lesson 68. Love holds no grievances. You who were created by love like itself can hold no grievances and know yourself. To hold a grievance is to forget who you are. To hold a grievance is to see yourself as a body. To hold a grievance is to let the ego rule your mind and to condemn the body to death. Perhaps you do not yet fully realize just what holding grievances does to your mind. It seems to split you off from your source and make you unlike him. It makes you believe that he is like what you think you have become, for no one can conceive of his creator as unlike himself. Every single time we are holding a grievance, a judgment against another, we have sentenced ourselves to death, because in that moment we have stopped the flow of love, which is the life flow. It's the movement of truth through us. So it is really, really important that you get that love holds no grievances. So if you're holding a grievance, you're siding with your ego. Paragraph 2, shut off from yourself, capital S self, which remains aware of its likeness to its creator. Yourself, your spirit, your soul seems to sleep, while the part of your mind that weaves illusions in its sleep appears to be awake. So it seems like, excuse me, the ego is awake, like it knows what's going on, but the truth of you goes to sleep because you can't access it because it's been drowned out for so long. Sentence number 2, paragraph 2. Can all this arise from holding grievances? Really? Can a judgment cause us to go to sleep, for our soul to go to sleep so we can't hear it, and our ego to come up and, oh yeah, it's awake, it's the one that runs the show? Oh yes. For he who holds grievances denies he was created by love, and his creator has become fearful to him in his dream of hate. God must hate me because I'm not being loving in this moment. The sin, the shame, the guilt for not being kind, because we've been taught to be kind. That's the way we should be. Well, sentence number 5 says, who can dream of hatred and not fear God? We've been conditioned to believe that we should fear God, but God is love. So we're kind of in a double bind, fearing God and at the same time judging others. So we believe that judging others is justified, that these grievances are justified. And then on top of that, we're afraid that God's going to be upset with us because we somehow inside of us know we should be kind to each other. That's that soul that we can barely hear, but it is the source of the truth inside of us, and we feel it. We know when we're not being what we should be. Paragraph 3. It is as sure that those who hold grievances will redefine God in their own image, as it is certain that God created them like himself and defined them as part of him. So the ego is going to define God in our image, a dysfunctional parent, but God defined us in its image as love. So we got two different definitions going on, and we need to decide which one is true. Well, only one of them is true, but we need to decide if we're going to believe the truth or we're going to keep creating illusions. Sentence 2, paragraph 3. It is as sure that those who hold grievances will suffer guilt, as it is certain that those who forgive will find peace. It is as sure that those who hold grievances will forget who they are, as it is certain that those who forgive will remember. Because forgiveness is an act of love. It's an act of self-love that releases everybody from our grievances. That's why it's an act of self-love. I am releasing myself from blocking love so that it can flow. Paragraph 4. Would you not be willing to relinquish your grievances if you believed all this were so? Seriously, wouldn't you want to let go of your grievances? What if this is true? What if this is what saves you? Perhaps you do not think you can let your grievances go. That, however, is simply a matter of motivation. How motivated are you to be happy instead of being right? That's it, bottom line. How motivated are you to sit in truth and have peace instead of being in illusion and righteous? Which makes you obviously quite anxious and uncomfortable. Sentence 4, paragraph 4. Today we will try to find out how you would feel without them, without these illusions. If you succeed even For by ever so little, there will never be a problem in motivation ever again. If you feel the efficacy of the truth, if you can feel that this literally shifts you and lifts your vibration, and you feel this truth, you will be very motivated. This is what happened to me. Once I began to feel that peace in me, there was nothing that I was willing to do for to not continue on this journey. I did whatever I was supposed to do. I practiced, I read it, I faked it till I made it, because I knew that the truth was true and that was the only truth. So every time I felt bad, I knew I did it to myself. Yes, I try to convince Ken to change his ways. I try to convince Spencer at times to change his ways, or other people. I definitely try to convince them, because in moments of insanity, I didn't remember the truth. But then I quickly forgave myself and eventually stopped trying to get others to see it my way and began to just be the presence of love. It worked with my children. It freed them. I saved my children from my judgments. But it didn't work with Ken. He couldn't receive it. He couldn't receive it. But I still saved him from my judgments, because there's no reason I would want to judge him, because that would block me from feeling my peace. Paragraph 5. Begin today's extended practice period by searching your mind for those against whom you hold what you regard as major grievances. Some of these will be quite easy to find. Then think of the seemingly minor grievances you hold against those you like and even think you love. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty of doing the work here. Talk about honesty. It will quickly become apparent that there is no one against whom you do not cherish grievances of some sort. This has left you alone in all the universe in your perception of yourself. We need to forgive. There's a lot of forgiveness work that needs to be done, but not until you get honest and see how many people we hold grievances against. The person at the grocery store, the people you watch on TV, the team who won the game that wasn't your team, the president of the country, the president of the other country, the terrorists. All of these grievances are blocking love. Paragraph 6. Determine now to see all these people as friends. Say to them all, thinking of each one in turn as you do so, I would see you as my friend, that I may remember you are part of me and come to know myself. I would see you as my friend, because that's how I'm going to remember that you are a part of me, and I'll come to know myself. Because the grievance against you is, there's a grievance in me. Spend the remainder of the practice period trying to think of yourself as completely at peace with everyone and everything, safe in a world that protects you and loves you, and that you love in return. Try to feel safety around you, hovering over you and holding you up. Try to believe, however briefly, that nothing can harm you in any way. We're practicing a new way of thinking. I'm safe inside the mind of God. I am inside of God, safe and at peace. At the end of the practice period, tell yourself, love holds no grievances. When I let all my grievances go, I will know I am perfectly safe. Paragraph 7. The short practice periods should include a quick application of today's idea in this form. Whenever any thought of grievance arises against anyone, physically present or not, we're going to state this, love holds no grievances. Let me not betray myself. Let me not betray me by holding a grievance against someone out there so that the ego can make me blame them and justify that they deserve to not be loved. I don't want to betray myself. If I know that I am the presence of love, if God created me as itself and God is love, I don't want to keep believing what is not true. It's so much easier, so much more peaceful, and so much more joyful to believe the truth. And of course, once you practice it, fake it till you make it, eventually it sinks in because those neurological pathways are created and you begin to believe the truth is true. Let me read this again. Love holds no grievances. Let me not betray myself. Powerful line. Sentence number 4 in paragraph 7. In addition, repeat the idea several times an hour in this form. Love holds no grievances. I would wake to myself by laying all my grievances aside and awakening in him. I would wake to myself. I want to wake up and know the self that I am, the soul that I am. And when I do that, I awaken in Him, because then I realize I'm in love. I'm in God. And it flows through me when I don't block it with grievances. A lot of honesty in doing this homework, in doing this lesson, but it will be powerful if you commit to practice trusting that what is being told is the truth. If you don't fully believe it, say, let me give it a shot. You know, it worked for Laina, it worked for Jesus, it worked for Buddha, it worked for lots of other people. Let it work for me. And trust the process, and you will feel the difference. You will shift from fear, you will lift into love. Absolutely guaranteed it will happen. But you got to stick with it and be honest with yourself when you're not. And know that you're the one who chose to hold a grievance, to let yourself feel righteous. That's perfectly okay. At least you're being honest with yourself. Thanks a bunch, and I'll see you for the next lesson. Bye-bye.